One can never have enough medieval mods, especially when we're still waiting for a Medieval 3. A few months ago I covered the excellent Medieval Kingdoms 1212 mod, a mod which I still highly recommend. Today though, I will be talking about perhaps the most exciting mod you've never even heard of, and it's yet another ambitious medieval mod for Total War Attila, but with enough changes from MK1212 that it's totally worth your time. I'm talking about the excellent Medieval Warfare, a mod that takes us back to the 13th century and its great upheavals. And if that sounds good to you, I really hope you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon, where every donation means the world to me. I want to thank my current Patreons for supporting me and this channel, and if you feel like joining the list, I'm more than happy to have you. And now, Medieval Warfare for Total War Attila. In my review of MK1212, I mentioned how the mod does a wonderful job of introducing mechanics that were never in the game in the first place. These even include Holy Roman Empire mechanics, and so MK1212 becomes a very campaign-focused mod with a lot more depth to it. To some players this might feel like a slog, and even though I personally love the changes and introductions, I do agree that it makes for a much slower paced campaign. Enter Medieval Warfare, a medieval mod that doesn't care much for paradox-style mechanics, but one which rather focuses on a tough, well-paced campaign with a focus on authenticity and exciting battles. There are some really exciting new mechanics here too, so let's jump into the campaign and take a look at what awaits us. The first thing you'll notice in Medieval Warfare is on the faction selection screen, where every faction offers a so-called unique faction hero. These are indeed unique historical characters present in Medieval Warfare, and they can die just as easily as everyone else, but when you get them is determined by various factors. For one, the Golden Horde begins with Genghis Khan as a unique character, but every faction has them, which means that playing as England will let you play as Edward the Black Prince, Scotland has William Wallace, and the French have Joan of Arc. Not all of these are available from the get-go though, and some factions have unique characters yet to be introduced. Either way, this is a really awesome concept that I feel have been missing in Total Wars where characters have not been the main focus. In Medieval Warfare though, we get that grand campaign scope with a detailed focus on characters, and I think that is something quite special. Getting into the campaign itself now, it's immediately clear that a lot of work has been done here. Not only has every faction been replaced by their medieval counterparts, from Castile in the west to the Golden Horde in the east, Denmark in the north and the Mamluks in the south, but if we take a closer look, you'll quickly become aware of something no other mod for Attila is doing. Medieval Warfare actually replaces the vanilla city models from the Roman Age of Attila with actual medieval looking cities dotting the map. They changed based on culture as well, so Western European cities will have a distinct look compared to Eastern European city models, and the Southern European ones will look different again from Middle Eastern cities. They're so beautifully modeled as well, and I really love the distinctness of them. We talked about generals in the beginning of the video, and speaking also of models, let's go back to the generals now. You see, there are over 70 unique general models in this mod, one for each unique heroic faction character. Each of these are in turn extra powerful generals that may be able to turn the tide of battle, but which are obviously not as powerful or overpowered as the generals in the more fantasy-inclined Total Wars. I think this is a really nice touch, and adds a sense of flair and excitement to the battles when knowing that you're leading or facing a character of importance, which, unless you're facing a faction heir or leader, rarely happens in these games. One of Medieval Warfare's biggest innovations is its mercenary system, which has a very interesting take on the mechanic. Mercenaries are not only region-specific now, but they're also faction-specific. This means that a faction like France can recruit special mercenaries in regions like Champagne and Boulogne, exclusive to them, meaning that a Holy Roman army cannot take advantage of Burgundian mercs in the same way. This also goes for places elsewhere, so the English will be able to recruit Norman units for example, and we see the same pattern all over the world. In a way, this simulates how various empires relate to their vassals or allies in that only certain factions are able to recruit region-specific units, as if drawing from a specific manpower pool, and I think this is one of the most interesting and fun mercenary systems to date. Now I said earlier that Medieval Warfare chooses not to focus on paradox-style game mechanics in the same way MK1212 does, but this does not mean it's without new things. The main aspects you'll have to face for each faction are loads of new branching events, and I love the way they're implemented. They essentially vary from faction to faction and are therefore highly faction-specific. This means that playing as England will give you one set of events, while Kievan Rus will give you another. As Kiev, for example, I chose to take a harsh stance against the Cuban hordes, which provided me with an incentive to actually play aggressive and take the fight to them. This is a simple but effective way to create faction variety without breaking the bank. This leads to another point, which is that all of these mechanics lend themselves well to a hard campaign. Medieval warfare is a lot more fast-paced than the likes of MK1212, as it pits you in many more battles at the same time, handing out technologies faster, offers a relatively low unit upkeep cost, and tosses enemy armies at you without making it unfair. Medieval warfare is a fun and challenging campaign no matter who you choose to play as, and in many ways offers a much more true to vanilla feel while giving everything that oomph you need to really kick things into third gear. And because Medieval warfare is so focused on fun and aggressive playstyles, I think it's time we head over to the battlefield. Believe it or not, this is actually the place where Medieval warfare might have the most to offer. Almost every unit has been painstakingly made down to the finest detail by this mod's one creator. Every shield, helmet, mail, and everything else looks so finely handcrafted that it's hard to believe it's just a mod and not a new game. Over 2,000 new units have been individually made, and there are thousands of variations to each one, more specifically 1 to 5,000, ensuring that you'll rarely or never see the same unit next to one another. This goes for every faction as well, and just look at how detailed and beautiful they look. I'll give you a tour of the units now, so sit back, relax, and take these gorgeous unit models in. The units are not the only thing here though. Remember how the city models on the campaign map resemble actual medieval looking cities? Well, this awesome detail has been fully realized on the battle map as well, and as part of the grand campaign. I can't tell you how awesome this is, and how much it puts every other conversion mod in the corner in this aspect. Just look at how much of a difference it makes that we have actual castles here, and even grand churches and cathedrals are meticulously placed between medieval looking houses and other buildings. The cities also look different based on where you are and who you're fighting, and I love that the Islamic cities no longer look ancient Mesopotamian. When it comes down to it then, the battlefields of medieval warfare might be the most comprehensive and era-authentic ones we have ever gotten. This is unit and city modding on the level of Medieval 2, and I'm honestly extremely impressed by the modders' work here. Medieval warfare is one of the best overhaul mods for Total War Attila, and depending on what you want, offers you the best and most authentic medieval experience we've gotten in some time. Being more focused on fun and fast-paced gameplay than the more deep paradox-style approach, Medieval Warfare serves up a cocktail of some interesting campaign features and factions, including a Kingdom of Jerusalem already on its 5th crusade, a Byzantine Empire nearing a total collapse, or a Kievan Rus fighting off Mongol and Cuman hordes, with some absolutely breathtaking attention to detail in its battle maps, whether that be in unit design or actual medieval castle and city models. Right now, the only way to download this gem is to join the mod Discord, so make sure to do that if you haven't already. Also, do be aware that the mod is far from being finished. There are occasional bugs or missing features, but the campaign and battle maps are fully playable as they are, and you can already now have a lot of fun in Medieval Warfare. Thank you so much for watching. The medieval mods for Total War Attila are absolutely amazing, and they feel like they cater to different audiences as well, meaning that while MK1212 leans more on the campaign side of things, Medieval Warfare is more battle focused. Let me know your thoughts on Medieval Warfare and on this video, and if you enjoyed this showcase, I really hope you leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon, where every donation is much appreciated. Make sure to join us over on Discord as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.